Hi, you guys. This is Suzanne O'Brien, otherwise known as POB, coming up with some tips and tricks, I hope, for being able to get through this unit module 2. I've had some questions about how all of these assignments go together, so I just wanted to run down what the sequence was and why it was that way. And of course, I'm always working off the book, which will look backwards to you. I'm sorry for that. But in any case, I hope you guys all realize how much I appreciate your taking the class and how much I hope that you will do well in the course, and I will do whatever I can to support your success. That being said, we're definitely at a time in the semester where if you're really trying to do an assignment that's due for Sunday, starting right about that time, it's not going to work very well for you because some of these have directions that go with them. And the main thing you'll notice is that even though the concept unit works off of chapter 4, for the most part, the concept chapter, there are additional chapters that you have to consult or scan, boring as they are, to contribute to your being able to succeed for each part of the assignment. So the way it's set up is this. Most of you have finished the Easy Speasy library orientation, which gets you acquainted with working online with our librarians, especially reference, which is why I require that you run sources by me and the library and ask them for help. They will send you stuff, right? And that is their job. They're specialized. Sometimes what you're looking for, it might be filed under a name that you haven't even thought of or a title that you haven't thought of. And they're very good at finding you the kinds of materials that you're looking for. So that's really why the library orientation is pretty much one of the first things that you do. Number one, it's required for all 101 students, and it gets you used to working with the library, and you'll be doing that for this unit and the one that follows anyway. So that was quite a few points, and that's good, and most people said that it wasn't very hard. It was 25 points. An extension that you've received is on the second one, which is the concept planning and notes. So there are two parts of that assignment. The first part asks you about chapter 4 so that you can sort of see how that concept student model in there on the memeing of trigger warnings uses sources and cites them and how it focuses in or narrows up. It's not just about trigger warnings, right? The student is making a point, not arguing about how the trigger warnings idea has become sort of memed by people on both the left and the right politically. And as a result, it doesn't really have the effect that we might like it to for people who are sensitive to those kinds of things. So that's the point. That becomes the thesis, and it helps show why those particular sources are being used. For those of you who haven't had to cite sources in and at the end of your paper, we use the MLA citation style. So I went ahead and on the landing page posted some videos, very fast 2-minute kinds of videos that show you how to cite your sources in the paper using the parenthetical documentation and at the end in the works cited. And that's the way I'm going to want your paper, your finished concept assignment to look when we get to it. So all of these assignments are meant to take you towards the final product. You have no busy work. Right? So the first part of the assignment asks you to look at that student model and notice some things. And then it also asks you to work with one of the sources that you plan to use for your paper. And most of you have run your topics by me and received sources from me and also from our reference librarian that are being tied to our 101 library reference page. So I'll post a link and a reminder about that. But it's normal for concept topics to evolve, but you don't want a huge subject area. You have to narrow it down. So even if you pick something like generalized anxiety disorder, you're not just writing on that general subject. You have to pick off something within that to have it make sense. Is it missed? Is it underdiagnosed? Are there particular age groups that we could maybe focus in on as a way to give you control of your sources and of the topic? So that's really what the concept chapter is about, which is taking larger subject matter and then being able to narrow it to something that you can work with and be informative about without writing some kind of long report that just kind of meanders around. You're controlling it through your purpose, which is I would like to show my audience something about X for this reason, and an audience, which would be I would like my community to realize that we don't have a lot of facilities for dealing with, again, I'll go back to generalized anxiety disorder. I'm making up examples, but hopefully you get my point. So in any case, I extended that deadline. If you already submitted, go ahead and send me the assignment as an attachment to sobryan@sc4.edu. And just let me know. I submitted it already, but I wanted to do another better job with it. And so here it is. But everybody else has until Friday, this Friday, tomorrow at noon for that particular assignment. But hopefully the source that you use for that is one that will help you with the actual concept paper that you're going to be turning in. The next assignment after that is a pain in the neck, but I'll be able to tell from your ability to work with the extended summary that you can paraphrase and summarize accurately and in your own style. Because whether you're in 101 or 102 using sources, you don't really use direct quotes very often. And so for me, you're not going to use any at all, but you will cite. Some people have been taught that the only time that they cite is if they're quoting the material. Other than that, they can sort of steal liberally and cut and paste whatever, and it's not a problem. Not true, right? Just like there are music copyright violations that some people have gotten upset about or lost money on. The stuff that you write and you use you have to give credit to it, credit to those people or that study or whatever it is, and that's what's considered responsible, especially in college. People own particular territory. For instance, my dissertation, which I did at Michigan State, it's copyrighted. I find out if people are citing it or using it or whatever, but that material technically belongs to me, and then I cited my sources, right? So that gives you an idea of why we're sensitive to that sort of thing, and I'm trying to make sure that you're in control of your sources and you can write in your own style, and when you introduce and use a source, you can just use it appropriately, and you're accurate. So that's what I'm looking for. The extended summary, you'll see two pieces that go to it. One is extended summary directions, which is labeled as final or something like that. And that's the first thing you can click on and open. And that tells you step by step how to do the whole thing, what I'm expecting, and how to put the extended summary together. The second part is the actual article that you summarize, which is about the classic Stanford prison experiment that was done many years ago back in the 70s by Dr. Philip Zimbardo. And so I ask you about that. Everybody's using the same one. If we're kind of in the same ballpark, I will get papers from all of you that have the same information in the same sort of order, some including some things. Some people might choose to include others, but basically following the directions in that student's style, 0 direct quotations. And in this case, you don't really need to cite because we're just going to have the work cited with Philip Zimbardo at the end. So you get a chance to practice that. So that will help me and help you make sure that you've got that down so that by the time you turn in your concept paper, you will be credible in terms of your use of sources. The Concept 2 paper, which is on your topic, comes out of that chapter, is due on the 21st, Sunday, at 11:59 p.m. So there's time from this Sunday, the extended summary, to be working on your Concept 2 paper, and that's worth 40 points. So this is really how the whole thing comes together, and you're really using all the parts, and I have a chance to give you feedback on all of those parts. So meanwhile, the Concept Assignment 2, let me just reiterate, it's due on the 27th. It opens up and it's available as soon as you finish your extended summary paper. So between that time, please do not hesitate to email me with questions. Do not hesitate to set up a call. I've done that with at least a couple of people, and I can usually help the person kind of work out, refine a concept topic, explain a source. All of that sort of stuff is much easier if we kind of do it a little bit face to face. But I was asked to kind of put together this video. I hope it's been helpful, but even if you have questions on that, please do not hesitate to ask. And again, I'm really looking forward to what you've come up with. As you might imagine, I learned so much, right? Reading these papers, and I look forward greatly to whatever you have to write. So just let me know what's coming up for you, but that is how all those pieces go together, from the concept planning and notes, which has been extended to Friday, the summary on the Zimbardo article, how that gets used, which is due Sunday the 20th, and then the concept paper written on your own topic that we refined together with Reference Librarian and with me, and that's due on the 27th at 11:59 p.m. So again, I'm looking forward to it. You take good care. Meanwhile, the weather's terrible. Some things are good online, right? Bye.